What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Mark Carney, he's looking for a villain. He's looking for a scapegoat. In fact, this entire election campaign has been focused around one man, one presence. Well, we're talking about Donald Trump. I know people don't like me doing Donald in the video, so I'll stop right away, guys. We'll save it for live stream. Mark Carney made this whole election about Donald Trump. When you look at videos of, say, Rebel News outside of different rallies reporting with people asking why they're supporting Mark Carney, why they think Mark Carney is the best option moving into this election for them as liberal voters, the one thing all of them mentions is Trump. It's Trump, 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 Trump. Doug Ford did this when he ran for his re-election mandate. He took an early opportunity to essentially grab another 4-year mandate, well, because he's a sellout. He's a closet liberal. He sucks at his job. That being said, and people who say, why are you giving Doug Ford a hard time? Well, this has already made its rounds. I want to talk about this. Doug Ford, who is labeled and running and upholding his mandate as a conservative, has thrown Pierre Poilievre under the bus. Now, I know a lot of people have seen this, but bear with me, folks. It ties into other things. So we're just going to show it for context's sake, but Doug Ford took shots at Pierre Poilievre 14 days before the election, says the pleb. Trying to derail Pierre during the most important election in our country's history shows his true colors. This liberal traitor, POS, will never be leader of the Conservative Party. Now, they're saying that Doug Ford is taking in a bid that if Pierre were to lose the federal election, Doug Ford may try to get into federal politics and allegedly replace Pierre Poilievre. Doug, people aren't that stupid. Second of all, if you're a conservative, wouldn't you support the leader of the Conservative Party? I mean, what gets discussed in this video is the criticism Pierre has got for his attack against Donald Trump. In fact, we covered a Buttongate. We covered a video on the buttons that were being passed out at conservative conferences to try to derail Pierre's campaign, to look as though they were pivoting to Trump. And Doug Ford again criticizing that Jenny Byrne, Pierre's manager, has not been let go in place for the one that he used and Stephen Harper used that believes he should focus on Donald Trump. Let's take a look at what, again, I know people have seen it, but let's just take another look for context on what Doug Ford had to say.
As for Corey, I've said right from day one, he's tough as nails, but he's the best campaign manager in the country. And to be very frank, if Corey was running that campaign, I don't think Mr. Poilievre would be in the position he's in right now. But it's still a lot of time left. And we still have debates. At the end of the day, the people will decide which way they want this country to move forward. But sometimes the truth hurts.
Sometimes the truth hurts. This guy has propped up Mark Carney more than Jagmeet Singh props up Justin Trudeau. I know the audio was really low there. I've tried multiple times to buffer that up. My apologies that it was low. But what's funny about Doug Ford is people say, well, this was just a statement. This is just him saying that he approves of Mark Carney, that he wants, that he wants Pierre to do better. He doesn't approve of Mark Carney, but that he wants Pierre to do better. He wants Pierre to adopt a better platform to help him get elected. Fringe, you're grasping at straws. Really? Are we? Well, take a look here. Another tweet by the pleb. Doug Ford and his advisor, Corey, busted sending plants to discredit Pierre Poilievre rallies. Doug Ford is intentionally trying to derail Pierre. This move is straight out of the Liberals' playbook. Doug Ford is a liberal traitor. We will never forget the backstabbing. Here's a photo of the people, do you believe the polls flags? And look at that. They're buddy-buddy with Doug Ford. This is dirty politics that we're seeing here. Very dirty politics. Now, if you watch Moose on the Loose, he put out a great video today talking about Mark Carney selling out Canada to Donald Trump. He's got a great chart. I was going to cover that, but to be honest, folks, David has done such a good job with his charting on how he's following everything with Mark Carney through his connections through Brookfield. So all I'm going to say is you should go and watch Moose on the Loose in that video. Tell him the Fringe told him to come watch if you haven't seen it already. If you're not following David over at Moose on the Loose, go give him a follow. He's got great content. So shout out to David, which reminds me, you should be following all Canadian content creators that cover politics on this channel, because this is the kind of tomfoolery we're going to see as we get closer to the election. It's so important that you subscribe to all of these channels, turn on your bells for all notifications so that you're not missing anything that's dropping as we're showing you the real election that's going on, not what the mainstream media tries to push onto you. Speaking of the mainstream media, this is where Donald Trump becomes a key issue for Mark Carney. He needs a villain. Now, while Doug Ford was successful at pushing Donald Trump in order to get his mandate, Mark Carney took the same path because, well, Carney never does anything original. He copies everybody. He steals from people. He plagiarizes. Y'all know the deal. But with Donald Trump taking a step back, not mentioning 51st state for a while, not talking about tariffs, not pushing on the tariffs, people are saying, well, the tariffs are still in place, Fringe. Yeah, but they're being renegotiated after the election. Trump has taken a back seat to that. He understands what's dubbed as the Trump effect. He knows what it means for Canada's elections. And people are saying, again, based off Moose on the Loose's video, well, this is part of getting Mark Carney in. I don't necessarily agree with that. However, the ties through Stripe, through Brookfield are undeniable. Those profits can be made with or without Mark Carney being prime minister, I feel. But what we're seeing here is the government's propaganda arm, the CBC, now barging their way into the White House to try and stir up trouble. The CBC is Timu CNN. They just love getting the Trump rhetoric. Again, Trump, Trump, Trump. They want to push for any kind of dust in the wind to get liberal voters, the sheeple, all worked up about 51st state. Don't forget, guys, Donald Trump's still the enemy here, right? Let's take a look at what happened with Carolyn Levitt the other day during a press conference. Levitt is asked by CBC's Katie Simpson if Trump's tone on Canada has changed since Carney's chit-chat. And, again, she's got a quote here. I'm not going to quote it because it's in the video, but it says here, nope, Carney has changed nothing according to her. Carney can't control Trump, as she claims. Now, Mark Carney paused his election he says he paused the election. He went and hid away. He ran because Pierre's just doing too much. His numbers are too high. Carney was hoping for something like this. We talked about this on the videos where we said he paused the election. He wanted Donald Trump to pop up in the news again so that he can use him as a villain. This is exactly that moment. You send the CBC, have the CBC kick up some dirt. Carney has no control over Donald Trump. Now, Carolyn Levitt absolutely shuts it down in great fashion. You'll notice there's two questions that are asked here. Clinton Jaws covered this as well. Shout out to Clinton Jaws, good friend of the channel, good friend of mine. Go follow him as well. He's got some great content, if you haven't already. Not that he needs the help. He's doing fantastic. Let's take a look at what Carolyn Levitt had to say and watch for the second question. The second question is the one where you can tell. At first, it's, let's talk about some tariffs. Let's talk about automotive. Let's talk about, and then, oh, by the way, 51st state. Take a look.
Deal with the United States of America. Sure.
On tariffs, yesterday in the Oval Office...
Which outlet are you with?
The Canadian Public Broadcaster.
Oh, nice to see you.
Thank you. Yesterday in the Oval Office, President Trump suggested that there could be some help for automakers. I'm wondering what that looks like. Is it tariff relief on the 25% tariffs that are in place right now, or the new tariffs that are coming up in May on auto parts? And a second on Canada, if I may. President Trump's tone when it comes to Canada-U.S. relations, Canadians have noticed it's shifted a bit in the past few weeks. Ever since the election campaign started, he stopped talking about Canada becoming the 51st state, at least publicly. I'm wondering if that's on purpose and why.
I would...
So I'm wondering if that's on purpose and why. Oh, did he stop talking about it because we don't have any more talking points? We can't villainize Donald Trump? Why did he stop handing the Liberals the election? Why did he stop giving Mark Carney a villain? This is unbelievable. That this is the route the CBC takes, is to fly to Washington to get into the Oval Office and try to kick up dirt so that Mark Carney has a villain. The CBC is scampering. They're desperate. Their jobs are on the line here. They're all going to be defunded when Pierre Poilievre becomes prime minister. And when I say defunded, it doesn't mean the end of the CBC. It just means Catherine Tate's going to have to find advertisers that actually want to promote their products and their message on their platform, like every other TV station in the country or any other media outlet that isn't tied to liberal funding. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody funds this channel. Nobody funds the content creators on YouTube that aside from AdSense and Google, but what I'm saying is nobody gives us millions of dollars a year in tax write-offs or tax cuts to produce content. And you'll notice that the content that comes out from these creators, especially this one, ladies and gentlemen, far better than the CBC. I'll take that. You say I got a big head. I don't care. This channel's far better than anything you'll see on the CBC. I think you could say that a dog doing bat flips is better on YouTube than the CBC. That being said, they need Mark Carney to win. They want Mark Carney to win. Watch Carolyn Levitt shut it down. Absolutely shut it down.
On purpose, and why?
I would reject the president's position on Canada has shifted. Perhaps he just hasn't been asked about Canada by questions from this group in the Oval Office when they see him almost every day, but the president still maintains his position on Canada. The United States has been subsidizing Canada's national defense, and he believes that Canadians would benefit greatly from becoming the 51st state of the United States of America. As for autos and auto parts, I don't have anything to read out for you there, but I think the point the president was making is flexibility, and he has flexibility when it comes to negotiations and talks. But
so what she points out there is exactly what I was saying at the beginning. I have nothing to share with you on the auto part because it was a nothing question. It was the ramp up to what about 51st state? What about evil orange man bad? What's really funny at the beginning of this clip, if you missed it, is Carolyn Levitt asking, who the hell are you with? Like, she doesn't recognize Katie Simpson at all. It's, sorry, who are you with? And then she's nicely saying, oh, it's nice to see you here. Watch this again.
Deal with the United States of America. Sure.
On tariffs, yesterday in the Oval Office...
Which outlet are you with?
The Canadian Public Broadcaster.
Oh, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Which outlet are you with? Oh, nice to see you. Mark Carney. This guy, look, I can't wait to see the debates. I can't wait to see Mark Carney flinch. There have been videos circulating when he's doing press conferences that claim he's adjusting his earpiece. I mean, this guy, if you don't think he's going to have an earpiece at the debates, if you don't think he's going to cheat, buckle up. It's his brand. It should just Mark Carney instead of I'm in. It should just say Mark Carney, I'm cheating. This is exactly the behavior we expect from Mark Carney. Nonetheless, Pierre Poilievre, it doesn't matter who is in Mark Carney's ear. Pierre is going to just smack him around. Yves Blanchette is going to smack him around. It sounds like Jagmeet Singh is going to smack him around because Jagmeet Singh's fed up with the fact that his party is dying. They're dead. They're nowhere moving forward. In fact, Jagmeet Singh's going to lose his seat. It's great to see. I'm loving watching all of this crumble as Pierre moves his way to the job of prime minister. Let me know what you guys think down below about the CBC. Let me know what you think about Doug Ford. Call Doug Ford's office if you think he's done a bad job. If you want to question why he's thrown Pierre under the bus as a conservative, let me know your thoughts down below. If it's your first time here, again, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, folks. It costs nothing, helps the channel, gets us towards 100,000. We're on the journey to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure to join the channel before we hit that point so that you were here from the beginning, before things went huge, before it got huge, before it went really big on the channel. I know I said no more Donald Trump, but hey, I'll do it a little bit for those who enjoy it. Join me for my live streams. Join me tomorrow night for the debates. Join me for Friday Night Fringe every week. And if you click that bell for all notifications, you won't miss a beat on those streams. I'll be joined by my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, as we go over everything that's happened in politics, everything that's happened this week in politics, and everything that we know that's coming up ahead, as well as hearing what you guys have to say in the greatest YouTube community on this entire platform, full stop. I enjoy hearing what you guys have to say in those live streams, but I most importantly look forward to hearing what you have to say this Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.